we have race number 7 at Happy Valley to preview now on IJC night. It's a Class 3 over the 1650 metres. Captain Win makes his Happy Valley debut. Never been there to the Valley, so no trials. Even Red Majesty is now Lyle Hewitson. He carries an extra £7, Red Majesty, on that second to exceptional nice last start. Rising from Ashes, best draw over the 1650 metres. Amazing One Plus was a winner 2 starts ago. Has an extra £6 to lump in this than that race. The Tander's up in trip from the 14 to the 1650. Nimble Nimbus is a 2-time course and distance winner. Winning Dragon, he's a last start winner over this trip. Carries an extra £3 for Tom Marquand and Tony Cruz. All Beauty has the cheek pieces coming off. Packing Famous is Zach Purton for Danny Shum. Had some blood in the trachea last time, Packing Famous. Viva Hunter won this meeting last year for Holly Doyle. Ryan Moore gets the ride on him on Wednesday night. And the Anomaly and Storm Legend round out the runners in race number 7. All right, the speed map here, Nick. Good. The speed map man is suggesting, and Red Majesty and Viva Hunter too with pace. The Anomaly also has some early speed. Yeah, look, I certainly expect Viva Hunter to possibly go forward. Obviously, as you alluded to, he was successful on this card 12 months ago, and he's got Ryan Moore booked, and he's shown plenty of pace, albeit not recent races on the all-weather, but prior to that was going forward and leading. So expect to see him forward. Red Majesty, I don't think can be too far away. He's drawn 6, so middle of the line, and he can press on. The Anomaly might be trapped a little bit wide. He's in 11, but can show good speed. So he might just be caught out 2 or 3 wide, perhaps, and Winning Dragon and Nimble Nimbus, well, he's never too far away, and he's drawn 2, Paul. So
he should get a nice run. Rising from Ashes has drawn 9, 8, 11 and 10 in his last 4 starts. He's drawn barrier 1, so I think he's going to be a little bit closer in the run, Rising from Ashes. All Beauty generally gets back. Captain Win, they've been going back with him, haven't they, in his recent starts, so expect them to repeat those tactics again.
And he is where we start. Just before we get to Captain Win, Rising from Ashes, you mentioned barrier number 1. He's such a little horse. That's got to be a good thing, the inside and following the rail as long as he can.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really good thing for this horse. And he's had really sort of bad draws and got further back than what he would like. So from barrier 1, he's going to be just in the right position, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I think he's very well placed.
He carries the weight well because he's such a little animal. We'd expect him to struggle with the bigger weights, but he's managed to lump, 129 pounds into second, then 5th last time with 132.
Yeah, he's weighing sub 1,000 pounds now as well. He's down 18, so he's, if anything, he's tightened up a bit more.
Yeah, little chap with a big weight. You sort of have to adapt.
I know what you're saying. Let's go to some replays now, and we start, Nick, with Captain Win. That is him back in the field. He's got 1 win on the board here in Hong Kong, and he looked like he'd really go on with it that day. Since then, he's got 4s and the odd 2 throughout his form line. He's just not quite there, is he?
He's not. He's one of them horses that sort of, he's getting close, but no cigar sort of thing. And he's only dropped £1 pound this whole season. So, he's been running around the mark. What's interesting, though, is his trainer, Pierre Ung, usually rides a lot of work on this horse as well. So interesting that he's bringing him to the Valley for the first time.
Look, he's been stranded, you're right. I think you've summed it up. He's been on this rating of 79.80, which is a difficult rating in Hong Kong because you're either at the top of Class 3 or at the very bottom of Class 2. And it's Class 2's probably a step too far for him, and the top of Class 3 he's got to carry the weight. So he just needs a bit of relief, I think, for me.
All right, he draws barrier number 7. Matthew Chadwick takes the ride on him. Next replay, Paul, features the following horses. We've got Winning Dragon, Rising from Ashes, Amazing One Plus and Red Majesty. So we start with Winning Dragon. There he is there in the red cap. He went off this night as an 11-1 chance. Rising from Ashes, who we talked about earlier with a far better draw. That's him getting to the extreme outside. He's a bit hard to see behind Comet Splendido. Amazing One Plus. He runs 8, but does have a win on the board 2 starts ago. And Red Majesty finishes down the track this night. However, this is his go, 1,650 metres. Loves the joint.
He's an absolute horse, just course and distance specialist, isn't he? Very consistent horse. Look, the Winning Dragon, I thought this was his race to win. He's won his race now. He'd been a one-hit wonder up to this, but had been leading into it. Rising from Ashes, you can see coming down the outside from barrier number 1. I think he's going to be difficult to beat in this. And they did finish in a bit of a clump, didn't they?
They did. I think, having just gone back and looked at it, I think the first 10 were probably covered by about a length and a half. So they were all very close up. But I agree. I think Rising from Ashes, perhaps the run to take out of it.
All right, the little horse for both the boys there. We move on now to Setanta. This is over at Sha-Tin, and his most recent start where he runs fourth here. First time over the 1650 for a while for Setanta. He's been back to the trials too. That is him in the grey and pink colours back in the field. All Beauty comes out of this race too, Nick. That's him there in the other of the beauty colours. Of course, there's pink and black everywhere, but All Beauty the wider of the two.
He is, and cheek pieces are coming off. You can see him sporting them here. They won't be worn on Wednesday night. Jamie Carr will be on board. Look, he's well drawn, and he's worn cheek pieces in his last two. He's run okay without really setting the world alight. As for Setanta, well, he was third here once off of a mark of 80 over 1,200 metres. He's a few pounds lower this time in, and he doesn't come into the race in too bad a form, Paul.
Yeah, look, when he won his race, there was rain around that day. I think they changed the track conditions late on it, right. So he did win nicely enough with a little bit of a give in the ground. Now, Happy Valley is a little bit more kinder in that respect than Sha-Tin, so it'll probably suit him.
It was pouring rain when he won it later in the day, yeah. But the weather forecast is not for rain on Wednesday night. Red Majesty again here, Paul. This was his win at big odds a couple of starts ago. He got a beautiful run this night for Keith Young from a draw of barrier number 3. The other horse to come out of this race is Nimble Nimbus. Now, he's a two-time course and distance winner. His 2 runs back have been a first up win, then a 5th behind Red Majesty in this race. He does drop 3 pounds on his back. James McDonald gets on board and he draws nicely in 2.
Yeah, so he goes in for all those reasons you just said. Nimble Nimbus, he'll be right on the pace. I think he's going to get the perfect run. Red Majesty's been a consistent horse. He's drawn a little bit awkwardly. No, he's drawn 6, so he should be able to get across to the lead. It's just that this is a really strong race, I thought.
Yeah, look, it is, and he's racing off a mark of 78. He remains on a career high. In fact, I think the handicapper put him up 1 for his most recent run, so very tough for him, but yeah, he knows his way around here blindfold.
Yeah, he sure does. We move on, Nick, to our final replay for this race, and it features the Anomaly. Now, this was his win. He's had a start since the Anomaly. There he is in the blue blinkers. We've also got Packing Famous. He's up on the outside. And Storm Legend runs 6th here. He's got the yellow and brown colours on. He's a horse that has had some support of late, Storm Legend, just hasn't delivered yet. The Anomaly's hard to catch over the 1652.
He is. He has got a win over this distance, but yeah, he can be a bit hard. He can be a bit sort of hit and miss, really, as you say. This win was good, and he's since bombed out. Storm Legend's a horse I've been waiting to win one, and I think he's going to do that at some point soon. And as for Packing Famous, I guess you could argue, Paul, he was perhaps the run to take out of it.
Yeah,
the winner.
Yeah, and he's the horse I will take out of it. He's drawn 8, so it's a little bit awkward, but with a bit of pace, and I think he'll try and just slot in at the back, and he's got Zach aboard as well.
He does. 2 runs back for 2 placings for Packing Famous. You're taking him out of that replay and putting him on top?
No, I'm not going to put him on top. I'm going to put Rising from Ashes on top because he's just perfectly placed, I think, this horse. From barrier number 1, the query is the weight he has to carry, but he's proven in the past he can carry it. So he's on top. Nimble Nimbus in there for 2nd. Now, Nimble Nimbus has already won this season. 2nd up, he ran okay. And now he's back for his 3rd up run. He's a fit horse and he's drawn nicely in barrier number 2, James McDonald aboard. Packing Famous, again with Zach aboard. He'll just be a little bit further back, I think, from barrier 8. And Viva Hunter, now he's going to go forward from his draw. That's his normal racing style. And Viva Hunter, we saw, of course, win on one of the IJC races last season. So he's a horse who's ran really well on the all-weather already this season. 3, 6, 9 and 10.
Yeah, I'm going to join you there, Paul, with the 3 Rising from Ashes. I think that run last time can certainly be upgraded. He had to do it a little bit tough, and there's not much of him. So he did a good job, and I think he can go a few places better from a good draw, and a great opportunity for Holly Doyle to get on the score sheet. Packing Famous in for 2nd has done little wrong. One of perhaps the better of Zach's rides throughout the course of the series for the international riders, and he looks to be well placed. Viva Hunter, he goes in. Look, I think these conditions will suit him, and the booking, obviously, the Ryan Moore getting the ride certainly catches the eye there, and Red Majesty couldn't quite leave him out given his form around here over course and distance. 3, 9, 10 and 2.